It's not that crazy, but it feels that crazy. It's been 3 years since the anime for Jujutsu Kaisen started, but since the end of season 1, it feels like it's been more than 3 years. That being said, we're now being blessed with the season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and we also got the movie about a year ago. But the question is this second season living up to the hype that we want for Jujutsu Kaisen? In this video, we'll talk about the truth of what you're seeing thus far for the second season. But before we get started, if you like my content and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. It does wonders for me, and it's a big season, so we have to talk about it. Now then, let's talk about the truth of the second season. Now, I'll just assume that you've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen for quite some time. And that's not just because Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the biggest things this season, but also due to the fact that it has an insane amount of potential. This video, I will go over season 1 of JJK and the beginning of season 2. Right there, that's your spoiler warning. If you have not seen these parts, then do not complain that you've been spoiled. Some of y'all need to start adhering to these spoiler warnings, man. Stupid. Anyway, moving along, you know what Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 has in store. We follow the main character Itadori, who is straight up eating fingers. While eating these delicious munchies, he's doing his best to not only have a regular life in Jujutsu High, as well as suppressing this demon. For a character that's never seen fantasy-like monsters, he just kind of adapts to it. But the good news is he's not completely overpowered either. We've seen countless of times at which he's getting kind of torn to bits. And that's also true for his classmates Megumi and Nobara. Now, there is one character in the show that seems to just never lose. Satoru Gojo is literally God himself within this anime, and sometimes that's just a problem. While at times he'll remove himself from being a teacher so that way the other students can actually do something, but in a sense of a writer's purpose, he has to be removed to not take over the show. If you're not aware, Satoru Gojo has plenty of abilities in his arsenal, but the most important one that he shows off quite a bit is the ability to not be touched. Using this insane power, he can literally stop anything from touching him at all. Now, this for sure is not a common ability in JJK because not everyone is as blessed. However, this dude is, and they do their best to not have him just take over the show. Between the fight between Mahito and Itadori, this fight felt very genuine because Gojo was not around. I mean, imagine if Gojo did fight Mahito. Do you think Mahito would win? That's not a real question. Stop it. No, the answer is no. But that's a good point to lead into season 2. We follow Gojo and Geto, who are probably two of the strongest sorcerers in the series. Of course, you have God lookalike Gojo, who can literally do anything he wants, but you also have Geto. Geto has the ability to absorb all curses at his own benefit. And so far, we don't see a limit on this absorption. Without spoiling too much more that we don't know about, Geto and Gojo are too strong. And what is a question I want to ask is that a detriment to this series? You see, the writers for JJK do their best to fill up empty space with plenty of gags. And it is true, the gags are pretty funny and make sense to the character. Remember the part when a lot of girls thought that Riko was actually dating Gojo? No, for real, this was actually pretty funny, especially because it's an ongoing gag. The problem is we can't do this forever since this section will end sooner than later. It has been confirmed that the second part of this season will be the Shibuya arc. And when that happens, we're going right back to the current timeline, meaning we can't play around with Gojo's good looks forever. And on top of that, it's really hard to believe that Geto or Gojo will lose in this part. I know that you've already seen it during the first season, but we know what their abilities are. So it's hard to ever expect them to lose to a deadbeat. Now, I don't want to hate on Toji, nor do I want to reveal his abilities before it's revealed in the anime. But long story short, he's just not that guy. I mean, sure, he can probably give the main cast the work, but he's not going to give Gojo and Geto the work. And if he does, it's because it's a unique situation where they're either underdeveloped or you somehow just caught them lacking, which is very hard. So what is the truth I'm trying to give you? Well, season 2 is off to a rough start. Again, before you start typing away, it's not because the show is bad or anything like that. But again, this is the second form of content we've gotten that is a flashback. And since we know that Geto and Gojo are alive, well, and powerful, it's hard as a fan to ignore the fact that they're gonna move past this. And we know that Toji is not that guy to give them much of a challenge. But again, this is Jujutsu Kaisen. Studio MAPPA is making making it, and it's one of the best shows out there now. And once the Shibuya arc goes live, then it's gonna be lit. But for right now, this is just an appetizer. And for the sake of storytelling, things should have been reordered a bit. But of course, when we get to the Shibuya arc, we're gonna be back here on this channel talking about it. So with the 3 episodes live currently for JJK, I wanna know your thoughts of the season so far. And let's be honest, bros, I'd be really surprised if any of you dislike it. So thank you guys for watching. If you wanna talk about another big anime this season, Bleach is going crazy, and I know you wanna see that over here. And to stay in tune for more videos like this, hit the notification bell, subscribe, like this video, all that good stuff. Y'all have a good one. Take care.